So today I am making a funeral tribute out of hard foam. It is a 3x2 sheet. It's going to be an Epiphone guitar, electric guitar. So I found the dimensions and I'm sketching out my design, and then I'm going to cut it with my floral knife and shape it and prep it before I cut the flowers. So we're starting to see how this is going. And this is going to be to scale. So I'm going to add a few more inches to the top. So I'll carve out of that. And I'm going to use skewers and hot glue to make sure it's secured. And I'm probably going to support the neck, especially here, because depending on transport, that's going to be the most delicate part. And if someone's not familiar with transporting tributes, they may possibly break it. So we're going to support that. I'm going to plug in my glue gun, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I want to show you next is you use a random piece of foam to soften edges, straighten edges, do curves. So right now I'm just going to clean up the neck to make sure the edge is nice and flat. It's a little noisy and kind of annoying and messy. So I won't hurt your ears too much, but get the gist of it. So basically just sanding using another piece of foam. Here's a little more progress. I'm starting the body of the guitar. You might see that it has some straight edges, but the beauty of working with cushion palm flower is I can extend it past the edge a little to round this off, so I don't compromise the size of the body. So you'll see later, and I can trim the edges and make it more clean. A little tip when you're doing intricate designs is once you cut a piece out that's like curvy, or you need to replicate it for symmetry on the other side, you could use that as your guideline so it matches up. So the overall piece will be very symmetrical, because once it's up on a stand and you stand far away from it and it's done with the flowers, you will notice a lot of imperfections if you're not careful. So it's basically like making a puzzle from one side to the other. I'm keeping my middle line there because that'll help me later with my placement of flowers, detail. Always keep everything, because you never know when you need it. And see, I use a lot of my old pieces, and this is what happens after you sand. So this video basically is going to be just the cutting of the foam before insertion of the flowers. That'll be on the next video, so you can get a gist of how to do these kind of tributes, because it'll be very important if someone wants you to do a funeral piece and you're new at it. This will give you some tips. Looks a little boring now. This is the hardest part. And then once you start doing the flowers and adding detail, it'll look more and more like the guitar. And hopefully I could attach some kind of photo of the inspiration piece, but it's going to be red, a red electric guitar. It's going to be really beautiful, but I'm going to add details. I'm going to add specifics. I'm going to tune knobs here. Then we have the pick guard. We're going to have the humbuckers, and eventually I'm going to add the strings. We'll have 6 strings. We're going to have the tuning knobs. So it's going to be super detailed when it's done.